Welcome to Upcycled Adulting, my YouTube channel, where I am here to help you upcycle your real life into your best life by creating healthy habits, growing to accomplish your goals, and learning how to overcome obstacles. Today, we're going to talk about how to reclaim your life. Now, listen, it's so common for us to not feel like we are in the driver's seat of our lives, to not feel like the authors of our own stories, because we get busy, we get wrapped up in day-to-day life demands. And for many women, we struggle with good girl syndrome, with working to accommodate everyone else. So we spend most of our lives trying to be good daughters, good sisters, good friends, good wives, and good mothers. And we feel this profound pressure to show up well for everyone else. And we forget to make space for ourselves in our very real and very busy lives. So today I'm going to tell you exactly how you can reclaim your life, how to get back into the driver's seat, and how to start making decisions about where you want your life to go and where you want to be in the future. But that all starts right this moment. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can continue to follow this series about reclaiming your life and building your future self. So the number one thing that we're going to do to reclaim our lives is to stop shoulding ourselves. The problem is when we should ourselves, we lose perspective or focus on what really matters to us, what is really meaningful, what we really need to do, and what we're doing just because we should. Instead of doing things just because we should, we need to devote our time, energy, and efforts into doing the things that will move the needle for us, that matter, that we need, that we want. And we need to change our language around those things. For example, a lot of my clients come to me with health or weight loss goals, and they say things like, I should be eating healthier. I should be exercising more. And in reality, those aren't things that they should do. Those are things that they need to do because they align with their values. They matter for them personally, right? And maybe those things don't matter to you. And if they don't, saying you should do them doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just taking up, cluttering your brain. It's taking up space in your brain, and it's making you feel badly about what you are doing. So rather than saying things like, I should clean my baseboards, and I should eat healthy, when one of those things matters to you and the other does not, we need to create clarity around this subject and stop saying should at all. Just eliminate that word from your vocabulary. And when you find yourself getting caught up in that and saying, I should do this, I should do that, instead reframe that to I need to, I want to, or what may really be going on there, other people expect me to. When we create that clarity, it makes it easier to eliminate things from our to-do list that really don't matter to us, and it makes it easier for us to identify the things that really do matter. So number one, we're going to stop shoulding. And when we stop shoulding, that's going to help us do number two, which is reclaim our resources. Now, we actually have three resources. Everyone knows about time and money, but the third resource is energy. And anyone who struggles with any kind of chronic illness, like I do, knows that energy can be one of the most limiting and challenging resources to manage. Why? Because there's a million things that can suck out our energy, right? We need to start reclaiming our resources. We need to start making space for ourselves where we commit some of our financial spending, some of our time, and some of our energy to ourselves, to building that future life, to building that future version of you that you want. But what we tend to do instead is we just throw around our resources like they are meaningless. Now, with money, we tend to be a little bit more conscientious, but we're not when it comes to time and energy. And I like to say that the way we behave with our time and energy is no different than if we walked into a crowded store and we threw $100 bills in the air and people scramble to get those $100 bills. And that's what we do. We just throw our time and energy up in the air. We let everyone collect whatever they want of it. And we don't even think twice about how limited those resources are and how much of those resources we actually need for ourselves. And one of the worst things that happens here is when people are in this mindset where they're just throwing their resources everywhere, they honestly believe that that will be appreciated. So most people come to me and say, I feel unappreciated. It's making me feel resentful. Well, what's happening there is if you threw those $100 bills in the air, nobody would be paying attention to who did it. They would all just be scrambling for that money. And that's what happens with your time and your energy too. No one is appreciating it. You're just throwing it up, and it's not truly a consideration for people as to whether or not they should ask for those things, especially when it's happening repeatedly as habit. Now, I know some of us really struggle to ask for help. And so we tend to perceive that other people are struggling with that too. But think about all the things you're doing, the places that you're volunteering, the mental load you're carrying, the number of tasks on your to-do list, right? Those things that you feel that other people don't appreciate, the truth is they don't even see those things. And if you're doing those things so that you can get the appreciation or the validation from other people, I've got news for you. You are trying to manipulate others that you are in relationship with. And that's not fair. Those who love you will understand and want you to have resources for yourself, to have time for yourself and energy for yourself to pursue your dreams. But one of the big energy suckers that no one tends to talk about is negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. A lot of people are struggling with this constant internal dialogue that just takes so much energy to maintain. So when we start thinking about shifting where we're putting our energy, are we putting our energy on the things that we want in our lives? Are we conserving energy where we can on the things that we need to do to keep our lives functioning? That matters a lot. Freeing up those resources, reclaiming those resources gives you space in your life for yourself, helps you take a pause or take a beat to make the decisions that you need to make moving forward instead of being caught up in the whirlwind of demands in your own life. So take the time to conserve those resources. Number 3 is create boundaries. Now, obviously, that means creating boundaries around your resources. And I think that we all understand that in order to make space for ourselves in our lives, we need to start saying no. We need to start creating boundaries regarding our resources. So we need to say, I can't do that, or I won't do that, or simply no. It's okay if you are conserving energy and you want to watch some Netflix, you want to have time to just rest or read a book. It's okay. You don't need a good reason to say no. You can say no anytime you want. But when I talk about creating boundaries, one of the big things that I'm thinking of is creating boundaries for yourself and others about what it is that matters in your life. This isn't up for a vote. This isn't something that we are going to go around and check with everybody else. Do you like this? Do you think it's okay that I'm taking time for myself? Do you think that my goal is silly? Do you want me to pursue that goal? This is not how it works. Creating boundaries around not accepting negative feedback, not being willing to negotiate or litigate or discuss the things that matter to you, that is vitally important. In addition to that, creating boundaries about the kinds of content you consume. Is that content supporting where you're going and what you want, or is it overwhelming you and undermining what you want in your life? That matters. That matters profoundly in ways that we can't even understand. And one of the reasons why that matters is because it cuts down on some of that noise in our brains that distracts us from being in control of our own lives. Your life will be as unique as you are. What you want will be as unique as you are. It's not up to anyone else to understand it or to validate it or to give you permission for it. You have permission because you are in charge of your own life. You are reclaiming your life here. And we're not going to go seeking somebody else's validation for us to go ahead and control our own lives. Number 4 is be present. Now, one of the things that's a huge energy suck and that can very much impact our ability to stop shoulding, to create boundaries, to reclaim our resources is not being present in this moment. It is a natural thing when you start working to reclaim your life to grieve the time you feel you've lost in that whirlwind, in that chaos. That's a normal thing. Allow yourself to grieve that, but do not perseverate on this. Don't beat yourself up. Don't spend time thinking about all the wasted years. Where could you be now if? The reality is it's never too late to reclaim your life. And while you were caught up in that whirlwind, while you were in that busyness, you learned things, you acquired skills you may not otherwise have. That time did serve a purpose, and now that time is over. And we need to close the door to that. In addition, we don't want to get too caught up on where we're going, what's next, 10 years off, making that plan, laying out steps 1 through 520. Because the truth is, you're not going to know some of those steps until you get there. You want to stay present in this moment. What can you do right now to reclaim your life? What can you do right now to start walking in the direction that you want to be going in, right? What can you be doing right now to move that needle? Rather than thinking about what could I be doing a year from now to be moving that needle? What's the 20th thing that needs to happen? When we get stuck there, we tend to get overwhelmed. Now, this is a normal thing for people to fall into when trying to reclaim their lives. Why? Because you have been living in a chaotic whirlwind, and that feels normal to your brain and to your body. So your brain trying to put you back into that position rather than changing and finding peace and finding that control and finding that space for yourself is a normal thing. What you want to do is catch yourself here and bring yourself right back into the present. What can I do now? What will serve me best now? Because that is the foundation for building future you, which I'm going to be talking about next week. So do not forget, again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because you don't want to miss that. Number 5 is take small steps. And none of this is going to happen overnight. If you've been taking notes and you're like, I'm going to stop shoulding today, I'm going to reclaim, I'm going to create boundary, I'm going to do all of that. Slow down a little bit. You've been living like this for a really long time, and drastic change is really hard. It's really hard for your brain, and it's impossible to maintain. So what we want to make sure that we do here is take small steps and be proud of the steps we're taking. Keep an accomplishment journal. Write it down. If you didn't answer the phone when that person called, who you know is always so demanding of your time, because you just weren't ready, you just didn't really know how to tell them no, you knew you would cave, that's a step in the right direction. Congratulate yourself. Be proud of yourself. It's okay. It's okay that you didn't take the call and say no. You took the first step by not answering in the first place. If you hide someone on social media who brings pressure and negativity and stress into your life, congratulate yourself for that. If you ask yourself today, as you're getting ready to do a task, am I doing this because I really want to or really need to? Or is it because I think I should? Give yourself credit for that. Even if it's because you think you should and you still did the task. Because just stopping to ask yourself is a step in the right direction. Remember that everything that happens in your life going forward is going to be one small step after another in the right direction. And each of those small steps adds up to create the life you're trying to build. It adds up in helping you to reclaim your life. Nothing happens overnight. It's a process. And being proud of yourself, moving through that process, creating an awareness that those small steps matter, will give you the momentum that you need to continue on this journey and to be able to not only reclaim your life, but to be able to maintain your position as the author and the final say on your life. Again, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.